Let's Play The Outer Worlds. Teil 46.
Keine Panik.
Plenty of smuggling runs, but this thing with the chemicals is full.
Jetzt dachte ich war hier schon. Fertig? Wieso bist du jetzt wieder hier? So. Geh erstmal in die Kneipe. Eine Halskette, Nummer 1. Ne? Gehen wir erstmal in die Kneipe. Oder in den Laden. Gehen wir erstmal in den Laden.
No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared.
Khalil Shakru.
Is that what my thoughts sound like? Look, I've been standing near that alarm too long. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one around here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
Das ist also Gorgon.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
Danke, aber ich komm schon klar.
All right, you know you better than I do. Just be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. Oh, and the Mance. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Wer ist Charles von Accounting? Wer ist Charles aus der Buchhaltung?
Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
Danke für die Warnung.
No, you don't get it. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
Du willst also sagen, dass er so stark wie 3 Männer ist.
That and a rocket launcher.
Was war das mit dem Raketenwerfer?
Did I not mention that? Right. Sorry. He's got a rocket launcher.
Wie ist er denn an einen Raketenwerfer gekommen?
Couldn't say. He kills anyone who gets close enough to ask. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter.
Ich nehme an, der Evakuierungsalarm ist nicht mehr dringlich, so wie es hier ausschaut.
Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. Something to do with that scrap project Gorgon from years back. Thanks for turning it off, by the way. I'd have lost my mind if the damn thing had gone on much longer.
Warum hat hier noch niemand
We
deaktiviert?
tried. Couldn't persuade the control terminal to listen. No one round here is particularly mechanically inclined, and no one was gonna shut it down by force. That's for sure. I know, because even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Was hast du denn im Angebot?
Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Jetzt verkaufe ich erstmal was. Granatwerfer. Vielleicht hebe ich mal einen Granatwerfer auf, ha? Den Überzeuger hebe ich natürlich auch auf, aber den ganzen Krampf. Den verkaufe ich. 72, das ist gut. Okay. Mal reparieren. Nee, brauche ich nicht. Brauche ich ja nicht. Hast du irgendwelche tollen Mods, die ich noch nicht kenne? Ah! Matthew Singh. Den habe ich aber schon ein paar Mal. Ja, sorry. Also. Ah, das sind ja auch Verkaufsautomaten. Eine Werkbank. Brauche ich jetzt auch nicht. Die soll zum Spread-Check. Gut. Da ist ja eine erste Spur zu Lucky Montoya, angeblich. Schauen wir mal. Ich dachte, es ist eine Kneipe. Ah, da ist Von Hoffmann. Du bist...
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now. Good. Look up. Now look down.
Du hast schöne Augen.
Thank you. Got him from my mother. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Herr S., Captain der Unreliable.
Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
Was hast du damit gemeint, die Leute haben sich verwandelt?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
Was passiert, wenn die Leute sich verändern?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
Wo bin ich hier genau?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Ich würde dich gerne noch was anderes fragen.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Was kannst du mir über Gorgon sagen?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects. Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Was ist deine Aufgabe hier?
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
That's us. And I thought this place was gonna be fun.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
Welche Art von Leuten kommt in den Sprat Shack?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
Wir sehen uns.
You're heading downstairs? Order something sweet.
Ja. Wer will mit mir sprechen?
I hope this fancy soap we got is extra strength. I'm feeling a mite ripe.
Was hältst du von
I
Gorgon?
hope we can help Miss Minnie uncover what happened to her mother. I wouldn't wish the pain of not knowing on hardly anyone.
Du hast dir die Unreliable am genauesten angeschaut. Irgendeine Aufzeichnung über Lucky Montoya?
Not a word. And I've been sticking my nose in every one of our stately ladies' crannies, stem to stern. Oh, law. That sounds untoward, don't it? That ain't what I meant. Point is, Captain, Mr. Hawthorne left all kinds of scribblings behind panels and under consoles, but ain't a lick of it mentioned Mr. Lucky. So whatever they got up to in the past must have been really extra secret. And lots of fun.
Wie fühlst du dich, was den Auftrag
I don't want
angeht?
to be mean, Captain, but I can't help wondering if Miss Minnie is telling us the whole story about Gorgon. Her mother worked there for years and years, and she doesn't know hardly the first thing about it? It seems fishy. And in the serials, mysteries always got a twist.
Was meinst du, ist hier die
Well,
Wendung?
Virginia Yang, that girl detective, she'd say to check your theories at the door. Just look at the facts and follow the clues. Me? I just want to fix what's been broke.
Mehr möchte ich gerade gar nicht besprechen.
Alrighty. You change your mind, you just holler. Yeah? I mean, what do you need? Captain? Mr. Sir?
Wir reden später nochmal miteinander. Also.
My kind of place. Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's birth.
Freddy!
You're a humbug, Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't steal what's
streiten.
lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
Warum
That
streitet
was
ihr?
my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
Was ist hier los?
A disagreement between professionals. None of your business.
I risked my life sneaking around marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Genau genommen ist das was Geschäftliches und nicht was Persönliches.
Hey, didn't I warn you about sticking your nose where it doesn't
Jetzt halt mal den
belong?
Ball flach, Freddy, ja?
It's the same fight every day. 5 years we've been at this, and we still can't agree on how to properly tag salvage. Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly, or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
Wenn du willst, kann ich vermitteln.
You do that for me?
Na klar. Ich helfe ja irgendwie jedem.
I appreciate it all the same. You'll be paid for your time and expertise, of course. Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
Ich mag den Freddy jetzt schon nicht. Zuerst möchte die Taverne eure Namen wissen.
Oh, very formal. Freddy the Scab, freelancer for sublight salvage and shipping, same as my father before me.
Junkyard Trixie. Also a salvage freelancer. Though, I've been at it longer than Freddy.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
Wie hast du denn den Anspruch markiert?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Depp. Ist das legal?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Ja, dann ist es ja ein
Someone
Käse.
must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
Bisher hast du mich nicht wirklich überzeugen können, Freddy.
What if I were to sweeten the deal? Say the salvage is mine, and I'll give you a share of the finder's fee.
Bullshit. That ain't fair.
Erzähl mir deine Version.
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Nicht ungefragt sprechen, letzte Warnung.
I kept my mouth shut during his story. He should have the courtesy to return the favor. Anyway, that's my story, sir.
Welche Markierung hast du auf dem Wrack hinterlassen, Trixie?
I drew X in the dirt, with my toe.
Hätten die Plünderer nicht in der Zwischenzeit drüber stolpern können oder es vom Winde verweht werden können?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least. But that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
Ich? Diese Idioten wissen nicht, wie man eine Bergung markiert, also entscheide ich zu niemandes Gunsten.
That ain't no kind of fair.
He ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a 6-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Ich freue mich, dir zu Diensten gewesen. Ah ja, kommt das häufiger
A little
vor?
too often, if you ask me. But that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
Ich freue mich, dir zu Diensten gewesen zu sein. Wir sehen uns.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
We could always go back and rile him up again later. That's my captain.
It's been a day, let me tell you.
So eine Tape.
Gonna puke.
Ja.
No, it went down. False alarm.
Mann, lass mich durch jetzt hier. Also, wen haben wir denn hier alles? Barbesucher. Wer bist denn du? Okay.
Sorry about
Next.
Freddy and Trixie. When they're not fighting over salvage, they're fighting over the bed sheets at night.
Die zwei sind ein Paar?
They like to blow off steam during work hours, but as soon as they clock out, they turn into a pair of kittens. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
Whisky, ich fühle mich heute kultiviert.
Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage.
Nicht wirklich, aber kannst du mir erklären, was du damit meinst?
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
Kennst du jemanden namens Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy.
Dann weißt du, dass er
Heard he
tot
took
ist.
on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
Büro für kreative Inkubation?
That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans and marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him.
Was ist denn passiert?
You really want to hear my story? Wow, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Erzähl weiter.
Get this. The canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Woher wusstest du, dass es Luckys Arm ist?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
Der Arm ist bei mir angekommen. Ich bin Hawthorns Angehöriger in gewisser Weise.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Wieso hast du dir die Mühe gemacht, den Arm zu versenden?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Wo hat Lucky gelebt?
3rd floor. Once I figured
yeah.
he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind.
Danke.
Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
Du schmeißt also den Laden hier?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
Also gehört der Spreadcheck jetzt Sublight.
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Wag ich es zu fragen, warum diese Bar einer Spread gehört?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You know, they do something similar in Byzantium. Fancier system, but same idea.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh, imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
Und woher will man wissen, welche Spread die richtige ist?
Easy. His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
Dann versuche ich wohl nicht aus Versehen auf ihn draufzudrehen, wenn ich mal wieder auf der Groundbreaker bin.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The Sprat Shack's gone through a lot of title holders over the years. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
Hat Spacers Choice nichts dagegen, dass du ihr Lagerhaus besetzt hast?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Kannst du auch mal eine Frage ohne mit Ja und Nein beantworten?
Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Ich werde mich mal umziehen.
Good. I've got paying customers.
Wer will denn jetzt schon wieder mit mir reden? Du?
You might like a casserole, right? Everyone likes a casserole. I mean, I don't really, but I don't count. No, cakes. Cakes I like. Gosh, I hope she likes them too. Yeah? I mean, what do you need? Captain? Mr. Sir?
Warum will die denn dauernd mit mir reden oder will die Ellie mit mir reden?
Hey, Captain. Next time we're in Byzantium,
Ja.
there's something I've been meaning to do.
Ja. Und das wäre?
I haven't actually talked to my folks in a while. Shocking, right? Anyway, it's probably about time I paid them a visit. Given the dangerous life I lead, they've got to be worried sick.
Selbstverständlich, sag einfach Bescheid, wie ich helfen kann.
Whoa, let's calm down. I'm not asking for a favor or anything. I'm just suggesting we stop by when we're in the neighborhood.
Ja.
See, I'm originally from Byzantium, born and raised. I know that probably comes as a big surprise.
Eigentlich kann ich mir das gut vorstellen.
But I worked so hard. I dropped the accent, picked up a swagger, developed a taste for Spacer's Choice.
Genau das ist das Problem. Du versuchst es ein wenig zu sehr.
Well, I bet they won't know the difference. I bet they'll barely recognize me.
Ich sehe keinen Grund, warum du sie nicht besuchen gehen solltest, wenn es gerade passt. Nee, ich bin stolz auf dich, Ellie. Natürlich solltest du dich mit deinen Eltern wieder vereinen.
Reconnect is a strong word. And, I was thinking you'd come too.
Ja. Okay, dann gehen wir.
Great. And when we get there, draw out your rough edges a bit. If you've got an outfit you haven't washed in a while, maybe one with some bloodstains.
Das ist also die Bekleiderquest von Ellie. Was?
Oh, and help yourself to the good snacks and put your feet on the coffee table. Mother hates that.
Hab schon kapiert, Ellie.
Just know that I've got plenty more suggestions if you need them. Anything else?
Nee. Du willst mir etwas sagen, was mit der Suche nach dem Dimethylsulfoxid zu tun hat?
I sure hope you negotiated for a raise with this Phineas guy.
Was soll das heißen?
Ever notice how this job gets bigger and more dangerous every time he calls in? He's asking a lot, Captain. Makes me wonder what your angle is.
Phineas versucht das Beste für die Kolonie zu tun und ich will ihm helfen.
I knew a doctor like him once. He had a patient complaining of ankle pain, so he amputated the man's foot. Wasn't even the right one. Point is, good intentions don't count for shit. And nothing's more dangerous than a crusader with a cause. Besides, none of this is your mess, so why go dirtying your hands with it?
Wenn Herzchen untergeht, gehen wir alle unter. Ich tue, was ich kann, um es in Ordnung zu bringen.
Guess I hadn't looked at it that way. Still, Phineas isn't your only option. The board's put a bounty on his head, and they've got more than enough bits to pay it. I've got no love for the corporations, but they know how to take care of their people. The ones at the top, anyway.
Ich wäre doch nicht so ein Konzernlakai.
Don't think of it as being a lackey. Think of it as doing a job and getting paid really, really well. I know you want to save the day, but don't forget to look after yourself. No one else out here's going to.
Danke für den Rat.
Don't mention it. Just speaking from experience. Anything else?
Gehen wir. So, jetzt schauen wir uns mal. Da könnte man jetzt ziemlich viel klauen. Will ich aber nicht. Ich will ja.
Are you my agent on the ground?
Sorry?
Schmuggler?
I've been sent to meet a certain someone about a certain piece of merchandise. They're supposed to use a secret code phrase.
Can't help you.
That's the code phrase. It is.
Ah. Ja, also wie kommen wir denn jetzt zu dem Zimmer, in dem Lucky Montoya gelebt hat? Wahrscheinlich geht man am besten die Treppe hoch.
I wouldn't get too close to that railing.
Jerome would have loved this place.
Leonora Diallo.
You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
Wie kommst du drauf?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive.
Hängt davon ab, was du brauchst.
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
Dieses Etwas muss sehr wertvoll sein.
It is to me, but apparently it's junk to Sublight. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Wo ist Jerome jetzt?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
Also, was führt dich zurück nach Gorgon?
A broken heart, that's what. This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
Was glaubst du, ist Jerome zugestoßen?
No point in denying it. He died on this rock. Likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
Ich kann nach dem Flachmann Ausschau halten, okay?
You'd really do that for me? Law. And I'll bet you're worth 10 of those sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion.
Okay.
Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
Ja, ich wollte dich erst was fragen.
Ja?
Nee, wir sehen uns. Gut. Das ist also eine Aufgabe. Nee, Moment.
You find anything out there?
Erzähl mir von seiner Zeit auf... Na,